So DISC, the arrows are really important. They're very good cues to help you understand what segment people might sit mostly in. So people have a tendency to either focus on task or to be really engaged around people and use people to achieve the outcomes they need to achieve. And some people are really extroverted and they like to talk and tell, and some people are really introverted and they like to ask and listen. They're processing information through thinking versus someone who's extroverted, who often process information as they're talking and talking through the information. Now, this is really important when you're working with someone, and if you're extroverted, it's really important, yes, to have that internal thinking time, but also if you'd like to develop ideas out or really stretch what you're doing to the best it can be, you probably need to talk about it with other people and help it develop and cultivate. Versus someone who's introverted, they might learn to really sit and think about the information. So if you need them to move quickly in a meeting, it's really important to give them the detail that they need before you move into that section. So the first quadrant are people who are dominant. People who are dominant like to focus on task and they're generally quite extroverted. And they are really focused on the results that they're looking to achieve. They really want to workshop and work through problems and challenges. Generally, when you're talking to them, they are very quick-paced. They pounce into the conversation. They're very direct in how they communicate. Often people point when they're talking. They will say what they've got to say. They'll be quick, they'll be fast, and then they'll leave. Now, the quickest emotion that someone who's dominant clicks into can be anger. If they're not seeing the results that they'd like to focus on, someone's not acting fast enough that they believe is important, then you might see that flick of rage enter in. What I like about dominant rage, though, is that it is fast and over. So once it has been expressed, it's often just let go of. So people who are dominant like to focus on challenges, very focused on results. The emotion that they lean to is anger, and they tend to be big picture thinkers, and they are also less worried about risk or have a higher tolerance of risk. Strategic focus, generally driven to achieve great results. Versus someone who before we move forward, on your worksheet you'll see the scale of 1 to 10 ratio. So as we go through each quadrant, what I want you to do is just mark yourself on the quadrant here and say, well, how much of this factor do you think that you have?